kickoff to our Spring Madness competition. So be sure to check which teams you're up against this week and get those average puzzles up. So this is the week of March 8th through the 12th. Super excited. We are up an average of 5 minutes from last week to average 62 minutes. And our average puzzles were up 7 to 61 average puzzles. That was awesome hard work you had to put in to get there. Grade level averages, kindergarten came in with 64 average minutes, first grade with 63 average minutes, and second grade with 82 average minutes. Second grade, you are getting super close to averaging that 90 minutes for your grade level. I think you're going to make it by the end of the year. Kindergarten classes that reached their average of 60 minutes, Mrs. Bates, Mrs. Longo, Mrs. Mazza, and Mrs. Sousa. Our first grade classes that reached an average of 60 minutes, Mrs. Kamier, Miss LK, Mrs. Humphreys, Mrs. Johnson, Miss Tomasi, Mrs. Rinaldi, and Mrs. Wheelock. Second grade classes that reached 60 minutes, Mrs. Burke, Mrs. Casey, Mrs. Humphreys, Mrs. Longarini, Mrs. Rogalski, Mrs. Sanchez, Mrs. Sears, and Mrs. Spears classes. And our second grade classes that were able to reach their grade level average of at least 90 minutes, Mrs. Sanchez's class, Mrs. Longarini's, Mrs. Sears's, and Mrs. Rogalski's classes. We have our top 5 puzzles. Your numbers keep getting larger and larger. Check out those numbers for our top 5 classrooms. I'm wondering when Mrs. Sears' class is going to reach the next 1,000 to reach 40,000. Our top 5 average weekly puzzles for last week, March 8th through the 12th. Mrs. Sears' class came in first with 125 average puzzles. Mrs. Bates' class had an average of 104. Mrs. Longarini's class had an average of 92. Mrs. Humphreys' class had an average of 87. And Mrs. Mazza's class had an average of 82. Be sure to check out the video explaining our Spring Madness competition. And best of luck, teams!